dictate that he should be thrown into a holding cell, tranquilized and handed over to Inquisition to be sent to Holy Terra. Alternatively, you may dispose of him in some other way, like throw him into burning Prometheum. You and I have not yet had pleasure of conversing. I know just how to handle this cult. Oh my god. I beg your forgiveness, but I seldom leave the chapel to interfere in the affairs of the ship. My duty requires that I keep constant vigil as I direct the arrival and departure of message across the boundless void. But given that this incident had already demanded my interference, I thought it a good opportunity to introduce myself and pay my respect to you. I know just how to handle this cult. We stand ready to carry out any order. Since Confessor Abelard and Mistress Sourback have both attested that those people are obedient and free of fault, I will not ban their teaching. Useful to us. We will not let the law stand in our way. You keep an eye on him, Weish. This is a dangerous decision, but I will obey the Lord Captain. I will do my utmost to ensure that this cursed soul does not cause a manifestation of the Warp Emperor save us. Can I do my stuff, please? Is it the Sotto's tomb? Pirates, space dust, and space dust. Hostile object signature. Let's save and check the space dust. Of course. There is a round indicator for some reason.
Finally, some real action.
Ooh. Let's see if they kill me, like in an instant. Macroplasma cannons, macro battery torpedoes. Let's have torpedoes in here. Let's laser this bitch for some of the damage. Oh wow, okay. Yeah, I won't do this. I'm going straight to Yanis. Leave this place, please. Really? Obvious. Warp travel. Can you stop? As I'm now fated to be your shadow domain, Oscar, we must perform a ritual that will seal our bond, for it pleases the Undying One. Let us speak on the bridge and I will take us to a place appropriate for the ritual. What is this ritual? Come and you will see. Oh. I do not wish to speak of the mysteries of the blood-spawn web over the Vox. This knowledge is not meant for the ears of the blah blah blah. I will be there. I wish to inform you that the sacred ritual addressed to the spirit of the world of the ship has been performed. The tech liturgy and the rite of the machine blessing ended with the data meditation in order to comprehend the nature of the miracle sent down by the Omnissiah. of sacred knowledge has not been recorded. How the spirit of the void ship was able to call upon the power of the machine god and activate the warp drive remains unknown. Yet during my meditative ritual, the Omnissiah gave me an equally valuable revelation. The sacred spirit that lives in the bowels of the ship's mechanisms differs from other analogous forms. The spirit holds a unique power that cannot be called anything less than a blessing of the machine god. So what does this mean? Hypothesis. In extremis, the ship's spirit is capable of making unpredictable calculations and actions. It is impossible to predict how it will behave in any given situation, but the spirit is currently showing obedience. At least for now. I recommend that we continue monitoring the ship and be prepared for new manifestations. Remind me what you wanted to find me out. When the ship's warp engine was filled with the machine motive force, despite the massive computational errors, a true technological miracle was achieved. No doubt it was the grace of the Omnissiah, but such occurrences have been described in the catalog before. Hoping to gain sacred knowledge of the nature of what happened, I embark on blessed research and prayer. The report is received. Thank you, Pascal. The Omnissiah shows all, comprehends all. The warp jump went surprisingly smoothly. None of the deck officers on duty report any incidents. However, a strange discovery awaited the Lord Captain when he returned to his quarters. The bed was unmade, and the impression of a head was still visible on the pillow. There were no other signs of intrusion. The guards swore under oath that nobody had entered the Lord Captain's quarters. Release us from this grip, this man. Visit. All the scanning is required. This is the closest. No, this is the closest one. So let's scan it. Hermitage. Adamantine. Do you want to set up an extractum to start producing adamantine? Yes. A small human dwelling stands on his barren, deserted planet. Scouts report that an old hermit lives there, who spends his days in prayer on the Emperor. Ask old hermit for a blessing. To the Lord Captain's surprise, the old hermit turned out to be a navigator, and when the old man discovered the noble status of his visitor, he willingly recounted his tale. He had retreated to this planet long ago, back when he was still in his youth, after he had realized that his mind would not withstand frequent forays into the Immaterium, the realm of the arch-enemy. The hermit spoke with pride about how he had worshipped the Emperor each and every moment of his life, but when he mentioned the golden light of the Astronomicon, his voice quivered. When his guests left, he stared after them for a long time, his gaze filled with sadness. Okay. Do you want to shut down the extractum? You know what? Yes, I want to shut down it, because I will probably need it somewhere else. These are sects. Burning world added to the worlds of expanse. Whatever you said. Sects in the Imperial Cult. Okay, begin scan. Smuggler's cache. Nice. Crack grenade. And provisions. Do you want to set up extraction to producing provisions? Nope. What did you say? And even believes transgressions will be punished after death on burning planets. This world could serve as one such purgatory. Oh. Yeah. Burn everyone. And smuggler's cash. Trophies. Accept. Oh no 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 no! There was a ship. There was a ship. I saw it. Drifting void ship. Let's F5 this. Let's check it. Yes. Everyone has a level up. Okay, so let's level up. Origin talents, archetype talents, ammunitions bag. Allies in a 2-cell radius around the Cyber Mastiff have their reload cost reduced by 1. Cool. Have their critical chance reduced by 9. The protected ally ignores attacks of opportunity, automatic A. If the Cyber Mastiff suffers bleeding, burning or toxin at the start of the Overseer's turn, the level of this effect is reduced by 4. Whenever the Cyber Mastiff hits the upper-handed enemy or an enemy adjacent to the protected ally, it gains 1 to its key characteristic. Lasts until the end of combat. Around the familiar has their resolve increased by 2. Each subsequent hit scored by the Cyber Mastiff against the apprehended enemy deals +0 familiar strength bonus. More damage. Stack resets when apprehended is used again. 50% dodge against your Overseer's attack. Used on an ally, can be the Overseer for 1 round. Enchanted Atlantics, the key character is increased by 5. If Protect is used on Overseer, the Cyber Mastiff MP is doubled when moving to them. 6% med damage from the Overseer. The first use of the Overseer's ability in combat costs -1 AP less. That's a good one. 3-cell radius around the familiar suffers 5 penalty to characteristics considered to be the familiar's key characteristics. Right after the Cyber Mastiff in battle mode, standby hits it. Okay, right of calibration. Vanguard. Oh my god. There is way too much. Hits an enemy with an attack of opportunity that enemy must take a willpower resistance test. On a failed test, the Vanguard becomes his enemy's priority target. 19% parry against enemies that consider the Vanguard a priority target. Any of the Vanguard's abilities gain 5% armor for 1 round. Critical hit deals 29% less damage to the Vanguard. That is cool. Each stack of unyielding beacon additionally increase armor and parry by 1%. That is great. All enemies in 2-cell radius around the Vanguard suffers 8% penalty to dodge against all attacks except the Vanguards. If any of these enemies consider the Vanguards a priority target, those enemies suffer a relevant penalty to dodge instead. Ooh. Ooh, this is good. This is really good. One ally into cell radius, the vanguard against 10% parry. Bulwark is active. The vanguard counts as full cover for their allies and grants the adjacent allies. What? Damage refraction. All allies affected by the vanguard's ability, but not the vanguard themselves, are 8% less likely to suffer critical hits. That's cool. But I will take this. Enduring Shield. Yep. Let's go. Arch-Militant. Begins combat with 2 stacks of versatility. When entering combat, the Arch-Militant gains 10% plus 10 weapon skill and 6 ballistic skill until the end of combat. 5 plus number of versatility stacks % bonus to critical damage. This bonus is capped when the Arch-Militant uses continuous approach. Confident approach. When the Arch-Militant attacks targets that have their armor reduced by any effect applied by the Arch-Militant's ally, the Arch-Militant deals 10% damage. When the Arch-Militant attacks targets that have their deflection reduced by any effect applied by the Arch-Militant's allies, the Arch-Militant deals 2 damage. Their dodge reduced. Who is ready? I believe I will go with this. Executioner. Bloody Mass. Acute pain. Enemy suffers damage from a damage over time effect inflicted by the executioners for the first time in combat. This damage is increased by 100%. Any of the executioner damage over time effect, it suffers from bleeding, burning, including the effect inflicted by a pyromancer or a navigator, and toxin, including the effects of inflicted by a pyromancer. At the same time, all of these damage over time effects deal 30%. Oh my god! The music, the ambience. Yes, please. $80 Medicaid. And I have 50 toughness, so yeah. Okay. Spell of protection, a natural allure. Targeted by navigator's abilities, gain 5 to all resident tests. Unblinking stare. Until the end of combat, enemies damaged by the navigator suffers an additional 6 damage from all attacks of opportunity and cannot dodge them. Powers deal 1 additional damage for every 5 bonus characteristic of the navigator's currently equipped staff. The castigating, infusing, and devastating counts as characteristics for this talent. Enemy fails the resistance test against the navigator's power attacks against them, gain 32% critical hit chance. The effect stacks, but it's reset by critical hit. That's a cool one. Perception is higher than agility. The dodge is calculated using perception instead. That was a cool one too. Including extra turns with 3 additional movement points. The first ally targeted by the navigator power is with a single target ability each turn gains the same amount of additional movement points at the start of their next turn. Threats and falls. And Houneman. Prey is killed. All enemies in a 10 cell radius around the prey have their agility reduced. It's scores a critical hit, they gain 3 armor penetration until the end of the turn. Whenever an enemy is killed by a critical hit scored by the bounty hunter or their ally, the bounty hunter gains 2 enemies difficulty tier % damage for 2 rounds. Share the spoils. Whenever an ally kills prey, the bounty hunter gains half of the bonuses granted by hunt down the prey. Whenever the bounty hunter is attacked in melee range for the first time since the end of their turn, they automatically dodge that attack and move 1 cell in the opposite direction from the enemy. Oh, that's cool. Why there is there is so much of prey that is not being tailed is killed by an ally. The bounty hunter gains an extra turn with half of their MP and AP. The bounty hunter cannot attack during this extra turn. Whenever prey deals damage to the bounty hunter's ally, the bounty hunter gains plus prey's difficulty tier % damage against that prey for 2 rounds. Allies gain 6% critical hit chance against enemies affected with 1 or more of the following effects: prey, tailed, or immobilized. That's a cool one. Each enemy affected by piercing shot has their armor reduced by 6% until the end of the combat. That sucks. It's cool. Whenever the bounty hunter kills the prey whose difficulty tier is 4 or higher, the bounty hunter additional gains 2 AP. Performs a single shot attack on an immobilized or stunned target. This attack refunds its cost and do not count for the attack limit per round. That's cool too. The bounty hunter's first critical hit in a round grants their allies a stacking plus target's difficulty tier bounty hunter's perception bonus divided by 3% bonus to armor penetration. And this one kills enemy whose difficulty tier is 4 or higher. The bounty hunter immediately reloads their weapon and attacks the closest enemy in their line of sight. This attack grants 50% over penetration but deals only 27% of the bounty hunter's usual damage. That's a cool one too. But I will go with pounce. Okay. Let us check the place. How am I supposed to get there? What? What do you mean? How am I supposed to get there? Oh, maybe those doors.
The world will bow.
Damn the scenery. A formidable looking door blocks the way into the next module. It is covered in scratches as if someone clawed at the cold metal for a very, very long time. The door does not respond to your touch and stands fast, refusing to open. The writing above the doorway reads Main Computing Cathedral. The tech priest blessed himself with a protective symbol, his hand visibly shaking. Shield us, O machine god, from the evil that has taken hold of your temple. Save us, preserve us from the corruption, show us the way. The sacred metal that bears our path is weakened. Let us appeal to the machine spirit of one of the generators so the metal may drink from its blessed energies. There should be one hidden somewhere in this module. What is this evil you mentioned? The tech priest says nothing for a while, then his voice comes to life, but the voice is hoarse, punctuated by static and interference. The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all. I am merely his servant. I cannot discern what has stricken the abode of the machine god, but I do sense a distortion of structure. Are these Necrons? Disfigurement of the molecular order. This ship is sick. Big dude. Further conversing is unproductive. The will of the Omnissiah has brought us to these doors. Thus our task is clear. Search for a way to proceed beyond so we can discover a means of cleansing these halls. Inspect the door mechanism. Who succeeded? The door and the entire adjacent section of the bay have no power. There must be a backup generator somewhere nearby. Once you turn it on, you should be able to proceed. Look around. The main thing that catches your eye about this place is the state of the wall panels by the door. They bear numerous scratches, 5 in a row, resembling claw marks. Some of the panels look like they could fall off at any moment. Here and there you see the occasional sparks and crackling of the damaged wires behind them. Venture further. Okay, is there any generator in here? Nope.
I tread a path unexplored.
Stomach turning bloody smears on the wall. A malevolent symbol.
I see the forbidden.
Clear passage with explosives.
Boom!
Yeah, goods.
This explorator is blessed with multifunctionality.
Good fire grenade. Why are you standing there?
Another step.
Watching
another
it,
thread.
watching the doors menacingly.
Audience?
Blood seems to have penetrated deep into the metal. The dull sounds produced by the ventilation system create the illusion that the ship is breathing. Yellow ship. Ooh! I see the weird smoke. Nice save. Mad Tech
Powers
Priest.
unseen uncover my path.
This is bad, very bad. The Omnissiah Grace has forsaken this place and these brethren. This Tech Priest can barely stand. From the many wounds where piece of flesh used to be, blood mixed with oil seeping out. They will attack my back, don't they? Won't they? Open the doors. Take the goods. And disarm this shit. Oh, of course. Great that you dodged. Ooh, applies a 10 penalty to perception for all attacks made against the wearer and to all enemies in a 2-cell radius from the wearer. That's a good one. That's a really, really, really good one. Penalty to perception for all attacks made against the wearer and to all enemies in the 2-cell radius from the wearer. That's a good one. That's a really good one. Damn it.
The world trembles beneath my feet.
I don't know to whom to give it. Oh.